Welcome back to America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. This segment is brought to you by Commercial Agent Success Strategies. Check it out. It's really fantastic training for commercial real estate brokers. Learn more at commercialagentsuccess.com. Well, today we're talking about sustainability. We're talking about wellness. And in my previous segment with Rex Hamry, we talked about sustainability and we touched on some wellness, and it was almost a tease, I think, because I think wellness is really one of the most important factors in commercial real estate moving forward. So I want to touch base on that a little bit. Please welcome my next guest. It's Alexandra Bull, and she's on the sustainability team at JLL. It's with Rex Hamry, Kat West, and Alicia Case. And Alexandra is also my daughter, and she's joining us here in Studio One. Alexandra, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, like I said, I think the wellness factor and the wellness certification, the well building standard is just going to grow significantly because everyone is concerned about recruiting, they're concerned about retention, productivity, and kind of the health and wellness of the people that we work with. And I think it's so cool that you're really involved in that as a vocation. And tell us a little bit now, to get the well building standard, to get the certification, there are 10 concepts, right?
Yes.
And the first concept is air. So what are maybe one of the two features of or requirements or optimizations in air that you find interesting?
Yes, so that is a great one because the air quality in which we spend a lot of time indoors. We spend about 90% of our waking day inside in our office or in our houses. And so air quality has a huge impact on your health and well-being. And so it's a really important category. One of the things that you can do for this category is have CO2, formaldehyde, particulate matter monitors in each regularly occupied space that will either blink or let you know when levels are too high for occupants, and it can say, hey, air quality is not too great right here, so let's get some filtration, let's have some people leave the room, go outside.
Yeah, Danger, Danger, Will Robinson. You won't know that show. Some of my viewers will remember that show, Lost in Space. So that does sound important. And then another one of the concepts is water. So so there's several requirements and optimization and really options in each of these concepts. So what do you find interesting about the water one?
Well, we don't drink enough water, just in general. We need a lot of water to survive. And so one of the main things about, not coffee, one of the main things about well is, keeping your occupants healthy and happy. And so basically making water consumption easy and healthy is a huge part of well. And making sure that there's an active drinking station, whether that be a water fountain to fill up your water bottle or just a water fountain. And it has to be within 100 feet of all working stations, which just makes it easy for people to not think twice about getting a water instead of a coffee.
Right. Make it easy for them.
Right.
All right. And one of the other concepts is nourishment. And I think a lot of people in office buildings might not think of nourishment as a big deal, but certainly with wellness it is. And what do you find interesting about that one?
Yeah, so this is a really big one. Basically, the research has found that when you provide healthy food and healthy drinks, your employees will drink healthy drinks and eat the healthy food if that's what you're providing. Yeah. And so well has a lot of very stringent regulations for what you do provide. A lot of refined ingredients aren't acceptable, and so you can't have any refined sugars. We're promoting whole wheat. The cup sizes are regulated. The plate sizes are regulated just to make sure that people have healthy portion size too, which is a really big thing here, especially in this country. I feel like a lot of times portion control is a big issue. So there's a lot of things to do to regulate that.
I agree. I went to a restaurant the other night and my portion was way too small. But that's not what you mean, is it?
Not exactly.
Yeah, so if you have fruits and you have vegetables out and you make it easy for people, if you get them to them free and it's there, they're probably going to eat it and drink it. That's a good point.
Yes.
And what about light? And I think a lot of people think about light in their space, from these harsh fluorescent lights, but you also have, I guess, light coming in or not from outside too. What do you find interesting on the light concept?
Well, so circadian lighting, which is basically just the 24 natural cycle of the light around the Earth. And so basically what WELL tries to do is bring outside light inside and make sure that the circadian lighting is really important to our human health because it impacts our sleep cycle and a lot of other things. And so we want to make sure that that's brought inside and that there's a good amount of lighting when there's a good amount of lighting outside as well.
Yeah. So that means, I guess, changing out some of these harsh fluorescent lights.
Yes.
With more appropriate lights.
Yes, that's very, very true.
Okay.
Also, some good tips for that would be including skylights if you can, and just any kind of natural lighting you can really has a big impact.
Okay, and we're talking about the 10 concepts of the WELL Building Standard to get the certification with Alexandra Bull. And another one is movement. So what's interesting about movement and the concept?
Well, so people don't exercise enough. So with the WELL Building Standard, we get to kind of invest in that and make sure that people can move without thinking about it. They don't have to say, oh, hey, how can I be more active today? A lot of the buildings that are pursuing this standard have an active staircase design. So it's central and beautiful staircase in the middle of their building, which promotes people to walk up the stairs because, in a lot of office buildings, you have to go into a small hallway and then it's really, really hot and you don't know if you have to key card in and out, so you're a little concerned while you're in there. This takes all of that out. The staircase is right there. You don't have to think twice, where can I find the stairs? And it's just a beautiful open layout. That's a really big feature that customers really like. And also another feature that's really cool about that one is active furnishings. So, if you see a CEO like on their treadmill desk or like on a bicycle desk, that's always super cool because that's one of the optimization features. And just providing, I think, 3% of building occupants with that option to have that standing, or all occupants need to have standing or sitting desks for the optimization, but the bicycle desks and the treadmill desks, it's just a cool feature. Yeah,
it is. And I love the idea of the stairwells being, kind of well lit, feel safe, feel comfortable in them because like in the building I'm a Class A building, it's nice, but you go to the stairs and they're okay. But you don't think of them first, right? So good point. And then one of the concepts is thermal comfort. So tell us about that. What's interesting about that one?
Yeah, so thermal discomfort can really decrease productivity. When people aren't comfortable, they don't work as well, and there's probably more absenteeism because of it too, just because people don't want to come to work and be uncomfortable. One of the optimizations is that with the thermal design optimization is to include individual thermal comfort control, not space heaters, but providing fans or seats that can cool or heat.
Wow.
It's a big one, and that can really help if you have individuals that aren't satisfied with the normal building comfort level.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. If they're comfortable, they're going to be more productive. And then another one of the 10 concepts is sound. And, that's an interesting one because, a lot of open concepts today, and there's a lot of people kind of concerned, I think, with how you deal with sound in an office space today.
Right. So sound is a really important thing in an office space, definitely. You're right. A lot of times access sound from HVAC systems or just other occupants, different equipment, can really hinder focus and also decrease memory. It can also hinder arithmetic. So we don't want any of these things to happen, obviously. And so a big thing for the WELL Building Standard is sound mapping and making sure that each space is appropriately, everything's taken into account for sound. And also, I would recommend probably having a sound consultant for that if it's really important to you. it's a good way to get things done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then one of the other concepts is materials. And, it's interesting if people think, oh, I got that new car smell in my car, and oh, isn't that cool? Well, it's probably really not, right? These materials are putting out things that aren't really healthy for us. So how does that work within the WELL building standard?
Yeah, so with materials credit, concept, for the materials concept, a big thing is the cleaning products, because a lot of cleaning products that we use on our daily lives are really horrible to breathe in. And so there's a lot of different precautions that you can take through this optimization. And using clean products with a green seal or EPA safer choices is really important, just to make sure there's no, added chemicals to make things smell better. That also has a lot of like VOCs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you see that you can kind of go into some spaces and they've just cleaned the space, and you go, wow, it's got a neat smell. It's just been cleaned, but that might not be good for us, right?
Definitely. Yeah, and some of the problems, or some of the great things about the WELL building standard, is that you have to provide a very detailed operations schedule, which just, you identify all of the high-touch services, like an elevator button, for example, and how many times that's cleaned and with what product, to make sure, and the assessor will come in and make sure that all of this is done correctly, because, we don't want disease spreading through the building.
Yeah, I like that. That's one of the things I'm concerned. I like to have everything that we touch in our office cleaned a lot. And I'm just I'm a germaphobe, but I like it.
Well, then you should get some WELL building standard here.
I'm doing it. So, and then one of the concepts is mind. So,
Yes.
What's interesting about the mind concept?
Well, so the mind concept, I think, is one of the coolest things that's changed from version 2, from version 1 to version 2. The mind concept has a lot to do with access to nature. Having outdoor space is really important for your mental health. Just have access to walk outside and get a breath of fresh air. Also, a lot of plants, that'll also get you some points, which is awesome, because when you have visual access to any kind of nature, your mind automatically becomes calmer. Through the Biophilia Concept, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but
I am, because you're my daughter. So.
So the Biophilia Concept just really provides scientific backing behind access to nature and the way that affects your health and well-being. And taking a walk in the forest or having biophilic elements in your office just can really make you take a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
in our office, we have a lot of green views out the windows, and we have a lot of plants and flowers in the office, and you really get a feel that you just feel more comfortable, and I guess it also helps the air. Some of the plants do. So, and then the final 10th one, I guess, is community. And I think as a real estate guy, I think, how is that a wellness concept for a building? Tell us about community.
Yeah, so
That's one of the new ones, right?
Yes, it's one of the new concepts, which is a really cool concept to add, I think. But one of the biggest parts of your mental health and well-being, and just employee productivity, is how you interact with people socially. And so a lot of the community factors are super cool and important. Some of the things that I think are really cool about it is you can have, one of the optimization credits is to include 16 hours of paid time off to volunteer at a local charity, and that meets one of the optimizations, which I think is really cool, because it gets you out there with your community, gets you hands-on, also helps you socialize with your coworkers, which is important because you're with them a lot of the day.
Yeah.
And another one too that I think is cool is having flu vaccines inside the office at a subsidized cost, which makes people get them easier because they're right there and it's accessible, and why not,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love the well building standard. I love the well certification, and again, I think it's going to be one of the biggest things in commercial real estate moving forward. So, Alexandra, thanks for joining us and sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for joining us around the world, and I appreciate you listening or viewing the show. Hey, do connect with us. Leave us your comments. Please share the show and connect with us on your favorite social media. Until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for America's Commercial Real Estate Show. Appreciate the show? Consider referring business or doing business with our sponsors. Bull Realty is a commercial real estate sales, leasing, and advisory firm doing business throughout the Southeast, headquartered in Atlanta. Visit bullrealty.com for more information. Commercial Agent Success Strategies provides video training for commercial agents. This training gets 5-star reviews from even the most experienced brokers. Learn more at commercialagentsuccess.com. You're invited to connect with us on your favorite social media. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't miss a show of special interest to you. Be sure and subscribe to the show on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. And at the show website, creshow.com, you can subscribe for a weekly email announcing the show topic and guest. While you're there, you also found more videos and podcasts. Thank you for watching or listening to America's Commercial Real Estate Show.